Come with me to Kyoto's biggest festival. Hello, it's me, Frankie. Today is all about Gion Matsuri. Check the chapters below if you're looking for some specific information, but otherwise, let's get right into it. Gion Matsuri is an annual festival in Kyoto, and it's one of the 3 biggest festivals in Japan, the other 2 being Tenjin Matsuri in Osaka and Sanno Matsuri in Tokyo. Personally, I haven't been to the Tokyo one yet, but I have been to some of the Tenjin Matsuri festivities. Not all of them, though. But Gion Matsuri is arguably the biggest festival in the entire country. There are a number of festivals all over Japan, aside from those big 3. A lot of them do happen in the summer months because of the holidays, but there are festivals year-round all over the country. Though Gion Matsuri is very crowded, I do think it's worth seeing at least once, especially if you'll already be in Kyoto in July. Let's start with a brief history of the festival. The Gion Matsuri began in 869 as a way to appease the gods during an epidemic. Every year, as per tradition, a local boy is chosen as a sacred messenger to the gods. From July 13th until the first parade ends on July 17th, he sits on one of the many elaborate floats and his feet never touch the ground. Personally, I'm really curious how strict they are about the no feet touching the ground thing. It seems pretty difficult, especially for a child who's roughly 10 or 11. The Chigo, or small child, is a divine messenger. The messenger for the 2024 parade was an 11-year-old boy. It kind of goes without saying that this role is always for a boy. But anyway, they're chosen from among the most prestigious families in Kyoto. On the morning of July 17th, he will cut a sacred rope to commence the start of the parade. As you can imagine, every photographer wants to get this picture, so it's really crowded in that area. But even if you don't see the actual cutting of the rope, you can see him throughout the procession, throughout the day. The festivities last the entire month of July, but the main processions are on July 17th and July 24th, the same days every year. In the days leading up to the parades, for example, the 10th to the 14th, you'll find carpenters on the street building the floats from scratch with no nails. So construction without nails is a pretty common aspect of traditional Japanese architecture, by the way. There are other pre-parade events too. I'll link a resource below with dates and times for events specific to Gion Matsuri. The procession consists of 32 floats, 9 huge Yama floats, and 23 smaller Hoko floats. They're all beautiful though. The 3 nights leading up to each parade are called the Yoeyama, and this is a good chance to see the floats lit up, which is cool, but also you can get really close to them. The streets where the floats are displayed are closed off to traffic, so it's like a big street party, and there might be some food stalls as well. Those are called yatai. So even if you can't see the main processions on the 17th and 24th, it's definitely worth checking out some of the events that lead up to them. Another random thing is that right before the processions, because some of these floats are up to 25 meters tall, which is 82 feet roughly, they need to move the traffic lights out of the way to avoid collisions. So it's really fun to watch them do that.
I couldn't catch it. My camera is always heated.
On July 24th, the second procession takes place. There's a relatively newer event that happens at the same time as Gion Matsuri, which is called the Hanagasa Junko, or Flower Hat Procession. And this is a wonderful chance to see Maiko, or geisha, in training, up close at an event where photography is allowed. You may already know this, but if you see them on the street, it's best not to bother them because they're most likely on their way to work. You can even receive a fine in some areas for photography and harassment of Geiko and Maiko, or for trespassing onto private property. At public events, though, you are of course allowed to photograph them from a respectable distance, aka don't touch them. I know that's kind of obvious, but there are some people that try to touch their kimono, so please don't do that. The entire parade is really interesting, but something I find particularly fascinating is how they turn the floats. So they do have wheels, yes, but they don't turn. So when they need to turn down the street, it takes a lot of coordination, especially because these floats can weigh up to 12 tons. On a similar note, there's a festival in Osaka in September called Gion Matsuri, where they run with these floats at full speed and turn down the streets with these floats at full speed. I might do another video about festivals and include more details about this one, or maybe make a dedicated video to this whole festival. It is considered one of the most dangerous festivals in Japan, which is scary, I guess. Also interesting. So here's a little sneak peek of that because I went last year. So there you go. I highly recommend checking out Gion Matsuri if you'll be in Japan, but specifically Kyoto, in July. I'll link the resources below that I used to find information about the history of the festival, and of course, if you know some interesting facts about the festival or you've attended it before, let us know about your experience in the comments. I, of course, am not an expert. I'm just a person who lives nearby who has attended the festival before. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching, and I will catch you next time. Bye!